Hey, True Believers England teen here. So me and Dalton, the authenticator, that's where you say hello.
Hello, everyone.
We went and saw, not together, but we went and saw Thor: Love and Thunder today, and got
It
some
would be
thoughts
quite
on
it
the
would be quite a thing to do it together, considering we're several
subject.
states away from each
Just
other.
just a few. Yeah, you live up in that cold country. I don't understand it. It's so here's the thing. I got down into the theater. I sat down, my soda on the table there, the ice cream sandwich in my hands, because anything that'll make me fatter that doesn't crunch, it's a movie. And I'm sitting there and the previews are going on. Okay, this is cool. That's fine. It's typical stuff. I heard some people complaining that one of the previews was Avatar. I'm like, bullshit. No, I'm sorry. Every 10 years, James Cameron comes out and makes like the most popular movie of all time. I don't think he's going to do that with Avatar, but man, you know it's going to be visually stunning. I
Yeah,
am in.
I'm not
I am
I'm
in.
not holding my breath. As I've said many times, I have no particular love lost for Avatar, but
I'm in for it.
I'm fine with James Cameron making five more of them, because if he can revolutionize visual effects
Hmm.
five more times like he did with the first one, then that
But
means we might finally get in Doctor Strange 3 a movie
that
where he's
that might
primarily
be,
off of
yeah.
Earth for five,
Well, point
you
my
know,
my point being is I'm watching all these previews, and then all of a sudden a preview for a movie comes on, and it's in the desert. Okay, all righty. Wait, that looks like Christian Bale. Are they showing a preview for the movie? I didn't even know the movie started. The movie theater I was at had none of that in between stuff between the preview
none of
and the
the
thing. So I'm
welcome to
watching.
Regal Cinemas, yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
so at first I'm like, okay, so it's the next preview, because I was waiting for that middle thing, to just to kind of,
The
okay,
welcome
now,
to the movie thing. Yeah,
yeah,
so.
that, and so I go, okay, yeah, now we're in the movie, all right, fine. And I'm sitting there, and he does his thing. I don't know, we're gonna hey, Skip Tosh, what's up? I'm gonna try to keep this spoiler free until we're no longer spoiler free, and usually it comes to the point where we're oh, I gotta talk about this.
Yeah, give it about 20 minutes
I
probably.
will
That
say
seems
this
to be the
though. I
line.
will I will say this. Something I thought was brilliant about the marketing. Everything in the previews were in the first
First
15 or
five
20
minutes.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything that you've seen is like the only scene that took place later is the one where he does the cloak reveal.
Hmm.
That's the only thing, because everything else is in the first 20 minutes or so. And I
Yeah.
watched, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I love that, because that means the whole movie from here on in is open, except for of course, the Zeus stuff.
Yeah.
It's so I'm sitting down, I'm watching this. The first thing I think is Christian Bale never does anything half-assed.
No.
He is freaking amazing through all of this. There's a scene in here where they talk about the horror elements of Doctor Strange. There is a scene in here with Christian Bale, could be the scariest thing in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, no, the gimmick of gore, and this really isn't a spoiler, it's just explaining a plot mechanic of the movie. His power is to weaponize shadows, including using them as doorways
Mhm.
and portals. And there are some scenes in here that are reminiscent of like Pennywise the Clown or like Freddy Krueger almost.
The
So
there's a scene where he's talking to a group of people. Not going to say anything else because, like I said, this is the non-spoiler. And he's just kind of crouched and is just looking around. I'm telling you, that was way above and beyond. Christian Bale elevated this movie.
was
He
was
really
I the
did.
only one who found his gore reminiscent of his Patrick Bateman?
I didn't see the connections. No, that's the
I,
character from American Psycho. For those
yeah,
of you not in the
yeah.
know,
I kept
um,
getting Patrick Bateman vibes, which to be fair is a good vibe to
yeah,
get for Gore the God Butcher. So
yes. You know what? I'm just gonna say this. I don't know exactly how I feel about this. I'm going to do the quick version of the review because I can feel myself wanting to go along the storyline here.
yep.
So be
Hmm.
prepared for that. So let me give this. I am unsure of how I feel about this as a movie overall. There are some great moments, and there's a lot of humor, and a lot of it sticks. And I
It's
don't
a Taika
remember,
Waititi movie. You know, you're
but
getting
the problem is there's too much humor. It's a comedy. This movie is straight up comedy, with a couple of horror elements in it. And so I was watching, I was like, gosh, but the thing is they never undercut a dramatic moment this time, which was one of the big complaints I had about the last Thor.
the famous Korg. Well, I guess you could rebuild that. Oh no, it's gone.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, ridiculous. But I'm very happy to say that for the most part, I might have forgotten something, but for the most part, they didn't destroy the mood through humor. Like when there's a dramatic moment, they let it sit. That also, I think, that needs to be said. Stay on this one. This is where the comments are. Stay on I Love Comics between the two. I'm also recording this for the movie channel I've got. The other thing I'm very happy to say, and I will tell you this, call out the bullshit if you see it. This was not a bait and switch.
No.
At no time does Jane Foster overshadow Thor. Not once. Not they work together as a team.
Yeah.
But never is it not one thing that even though I would say that, there were times when Taika Waititi writes Thor as an idiot, and I did not like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, Thor has always kind of been, as I occasionally joke, the bro god. And Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth both take that and run with it ever since Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't hate that. Because again, my understanding of Thor is that he's always kind of been the frat bro god, so that works for me. And
I never got that. Maybe it was the modern stuff, because I actually never read the Thor books when they were in or on Earth. I never read those Thor books. I didn't read the God Butcher storyline or any of the Jason Aaron stuff except for the ending.
Yeah, Jason Aaron is a whole barrel of kettles of fish, and we might have to address that when we get into the non-spoiler section.
So,
but
to me, I never thought of Thor as the bro god, which I guess, like you said, they kind of steered into here. He's the funny man, and Jane and Valkyrie are the straight men on this one. Hercules is the bro god of the Marvel universe in the comics. That you do that with Hercules, and I'm with you. I'm all with you.
I was specifically talking about the MCU Thor, and honestly, Thor being the bro god, especially recently, helps me a lot, because one of the stupidest moments in all of the MCU is in that first Thor movie when they reference Clark's Law. And my headcanon for that stupid freaking scene has always been that the reason why Thor thinks that is not because it's true, it's because he doesn't understand either magic or science. So to him, he's coming at it from the outside and basically calling the equivalent of microwave popcorn magic.
Because
he doesn't understand how either of them works. That's always been my get out for that stupid scene.
As much as also I didn't care for the way they treated him like an idiot sometimes, I gotta tell you, Thor: Love and Thunder, and what was the last one? Ragnarok. These are two of the most comic book looking Marvel movies.
Yep.
The way they embrace the silliness, I wish I keep watching that, and I keep wishing they had applied that to the Eternals. I'm one of the few people that I know that did not mind the Eternals. My only problem is that the Eternals on the comic page is Jack freaking Kirby.
Yeah.
And the movie is the anti-Jack Kirby. It's like
the biggest problem with Eternals is there have been two Guardians of the Galaxy movies and one Thor Ragnarok by the time Eternal shows up. And
Mhm.
there's also been several movies in the opposition, i.e., DC, that have embraced the full comic book aesthetic.
And this
Suicide Squad 2 and Shazam were both like
okay,
that.
there's a running joke in this also. What are their names? Tooth Gnasher, and the goats make an appearance.
Thor's battle goats there, whose
I'm
names I
not
don't
I'm not
remember.
spoiling anything because that's one of the few scenes in the trailer that take place. So you actually see the goats. The goats are a running joke because you've seen them online. The screaming goats. You get the screaming goats all throughout the movie, and I got to tell you something. They damn near got me every time. I got, there's this one scene that I literally I could not stop laughing for a little bit. It was just intensely funny. We'll get to it in just a little bit. I just wanted to kind of do an overview of the movies before we hit the spoiler talk and everything.
Yeah.
But overall, look, I'm talking about it. And sometimes this happens. Like you come out of the theater. I came out of the theater not really knowing if I liked it or how well I enjoyed it. So how much
How you
did I
felt
like
about
it?
it? Yeah.
But I'm kind of talking myself into liking it.
Yeah.
Which of course I'm a shill, right? I mean, Disney pays me, and I've got a freaking Rolls Royce because I say, yay, Marvel movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved the crap out of Multiversal Madness, and even I didn't rank it as highly, I think, as you did. So that should tell you some things. But yeah, I love that Taika Waititi is willing to just go, you know what? Nope, full glitter bomb, and it works. It works for me. And yes, I know the goats is an old meme. It's like a meme from 2008, the screaming goat meme. But
yeah, oh my
but
gosh, that made
but
me laugh so many
but
times in this movie.
I think the reason why it works and why most of the jokes work is because this isn't Taika Waititi trying to be funny. This is just Taika Waititi doing what Taika Waititi would do anyway, and he brings you kind of along for the ride.
Well,
And
that's also
good
something. It's one of the reasons why I like the Miss Marvel TV show is happening here. There's been a problem. I've been rewatching the Marvel universe from start. I just got done with Agent Carter. I'm doing them in chronological order to see if it fits, right? And I got done with that. I'm watching the originals, and I'm noticing how different each one of them looked and felt, and felt or feels. And then I just kind of remember how homogenized later Marvel movies feel, just because they wanted to make sure everything seemed as if it's in the right world. They stopped film.
Yeah.
They stopped shooting on film, and they started shooting
One of the
digitally.
biggest mistakes that Marvel
I
ever
agree.
made was stopping shooting on film. But that's
Say what you will, like him or not, Taika Waititi is making a Taika Waititi movie. Same thing with Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel is its own animal, and I think that's one of the reasons why I like it. It doesn't look and feel.
Miss Marvel is a Disney Channel sitcom, basically. If it weren't on Disney Plus, it would be a Disney Channel sitcom.
Look, I had trepidation. I had my problems with the movie. So would I recommend it wholeheartedly? Look, here's the thing with us. We'll bitch and moan about anything. We're sci-fi geeks. We're comic book geeks. We hate new. We love stuff we're used to, and it's in us to bitch and moan about everything. I understand this, but I honestly don't know how enthusiastically I would recommend this because of the problems I had with it. That being said, I myself enjoyed the hell out of it. How about you?
I liked it a lot. It's not as good as No Way Home. And I will say this, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness had more moments in it that I liked, more moments that made me go, heck yes. But the thing is, that movie had a lot of really great moments with no connective tissue whatsoever. Whereas Thor Love and Thunder doesn't have as many heck yeah moments, but it does start better and it keeps that pace going more consistently throughout. So I'd put this between Captain America, Civil War, and No Way Home. That's where I'm sticking this.
I,
And it's not as good as Ragnarok, and it's not as good as No Way Home, but it's it's nowhere near as bad as most of Phase 4, other than Multiverse of Madness was. So.
okay. Let's see. A running joke in an MCU movie. How original? It's not original at all. Do you think Chris Hemsworth took steroids? Because he did actually look bigger. Yeah, he looked bigger than normal. I don't know, but he put on some muscle. That when he's maybe he went, I'm going to be naked for this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think what it is not that he took steroids. I think it's just he's having more fun as Thor now. Ever since he teamed up with Taika, and so he's willing to put in extra effort. I don't ever think there was a moment where he tried to phone in Thor, but I think, and he even admitted this in several interviews, the first two Thors made him miserable, and so it made it harder to stay in Thor shape. But I think now he's just ready and raring to go with Taika's approach.
He's having fun. And look, that shows everybody's enjoying themselves on this set. You can see it in the final product. Skip Tosh saying shooting on film is super rare these days. They don't even make new film cameras anymore. Wow. For the most part, the strength of the MCU is that each film had a recognizable theme with a comic book element overlaid on them. Example, Ant-Man was a heist. See, that's one of my favorite MCU movies. I'm gonna have to rank them all at some point.
Yeah, I have mine pretty solidly ranked at this point. And if you're looking for the what is this Marvel's answer to, like I said, Multiverse of Madness was Marvel's answer to like a Lovecraftian horror comedy in the style of like the first Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that. This movie is Marvel's answer to a rom-com, but a really like over the top 80s or 90s rom-com, like something along the lines of Xanadu or like Kate and Leopold, something with an out there premise that's also a rom-com. That's what this is Marvel's answer to.
Okay.
Marvel's answer to Xanadu or Kate and Leopold. That's where.
So here we go, kids. The movie starts off, as I said earlier, and we're gonna do this as best as I can. We're gonna get into a few spoilers here. The movie starts off with Christian Bale, and like I said at the beginning, this man did not do anything half-assed. It's not like Jack Nicholson in Anger Management, where he got Adam Sandlerized. This man elevates some Thor here. And he's walking with his kid, and he's in the desert and everything, and he prays to their God. And his daughter dies, and he sees an oasis, and something's, come to me, I will help you. And he goes to this oasis and goes into the water and everything. He sees some fruit, starts eating it, and there's a god there, his god. And he goes, well, this one's eating my fruit, ha 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 ha. And Christian Bale's god butcher, I forget his name. Gore. He's like, oh, there you are, thank you very much. And he starts praying and thanking him, thanking his god, wondering why he had been forsaken. But now they get their eternal reward. When he mentions eternal reward, the god laughs at him. People are there. It's a one-way relationship. You're there to worship the gods. Forget about anything else.
His god laughs in his face.
And we find out that they were actually, that oasis was there because they found the previous owner of the dark sword. What's it called? You remember these things?
Necrosword.
The Necrosword. And so he's like, the sword shows him. The sword says, get your vengeance, dude. Doesn't use that language, but that's the message. And so Christian Bale does, and he says, my mission is clear. All gods must die, as you see it in the trailer. And that was an awesome opening. It really was.
Gore really, like, without Gore's contributions, this movie would have been overly comedic. But Gore being there kind of counterbalances it for me, such that because it's not just the over-the-top Kirby-esque aspect of comic, Gore brings the holy crap, I'm going to die aspect of comics.
Right. So they go through the Marvel opening. Ms. Marvel is on it. I don't know how I felt about it though, because I like the orchestra. This one was a little bit more rock and roll. It starts off with like a little silent guitar, like little
there's some synth
and then it builds
going
up,
on there,
but it never builds up. You know, I like that dun, 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 you know, that big orchestra sound, and that just wasn't this opening. And that's when it goes into the whole thing you see at the beginning of the trailer, where Korg is narrating their life, basically telling you about Thor and what's been going on. This is the cameo with the Guardians, and it is a cameo. This isn't Thor, Love and Thunder, and Guardians. Guardians are going to be gone in T-5, 4, okay, and they're gone.
Well, what it is Thor is going through the hippie I want to find myself thing, and the Guardians are like, that was cute for the first couple months, but now I'm over it. So bye.
We need your help in this battle. And by the way, if anything is going to piss anybody off, it's probably this opening battle, because it's effing ridiculous. This battle, I laughed so much, but it is the most sitcom-y thing. It's the most that you will ever see. The performances are over the top. It's the visuals are over the top. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to spoil one. Okay, ready? 5. I'm giving you guys 5, 4, 3. Come back in about 30 seconds. 2, 1. He does a freaking Van Damme split, stopping 2 spaceships flying towards him. And he jumps, and you think it's going to be the spaceships crash into him, but instead he's in a Van Damme split, just standing there, stopping him with his leg. The whole joke of this whole first battle is to show you that Thor is back and in the best shape he's ever been in, because he's basically just beating the shit out of this huge army all by himself. He literally roundhouse kicks a tank. It's amazingly, it's bad, it's great, it's funny, and it's stupid all at the same time.
Yeah.
All at the same time. And it was I mean, I'm watching, I'm going, oh my gosh, this is the cringiest freaking thing. This sucks. How are you doing this so freaking bad? Oh god. And that's the way I was reacting. Like, I was loving every moment of it while I'm watching. This is shit. The thing is but that's the point of it, I think, was to go over the top.
Yeah, again, it's a Taika Waititi movie, and if you know anything about Taika Waititi movies or projects, is irreverence and subtle jabs at things is very much his thing. And because Ragnarok was so much more successful than either of the first 2 Thors, Marvel went, "Oi, Taika, just do that, but more."
Yeah, the movie, and it said here, Skip is saying they really did steer into the camp nature of it. Oh, excuse me. Bale's Skip talks also. Bale was so good, deserved more screen time. Totally committed to the role. Best performance.
Yeah, that's my one complaint with this movie is Gore has maybe 10 minutes all told, and I needed more. I need so much more of the Gore.
It would have been nice for them to build more of a more tension between them. Like,
yeah, that's the other thing though. This movie is one of Marvel's shortest movies. Like, I think it comes in under 2 hours.
Wow.
And I don't know why they did that, because had maybe 10 more minutes of Gore, this could have been better than Ragnarok.
To me, it was. Okay, so after defeating and after doing what they needed to do on this planet, the Guardians look on their It's kind of like the Super Friends special alert. It's the Team Trouble alert, that one. They look on it and there's Sif. Thor, where are you? Someone's killing gods across the universe. So Thor says, I need to go help my friend. And that's when you see that speech between Thor and Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Talking about how all you need to do is just look into the eyes of the people that you love, you know, that bit. And it really is Thor looking for somebody to look at him like that, to feel that sense of family. And not what the Twitter's trying to tell you it was, where he's like, no, he just wanted the eyes to meet so he could be part of the family. So he,
I mean, that said, I wouldn't be opposed to a bromance between the two.
What is it about bi and homosexual men that just think every guy just needs a good dicking?
I'm sorry, but Thor and Star-Lord would be cute together, and I am not going to justify myself to you on that one.
All righty, okay. So that's when you go and you see that scene where they're looking at the big god. They say his name once again. I'm not remembering much as far as names are concerned. And they do find Sif, and she's lost an arm, and that's canon, baby, because they at the end of this movie, she's armless. Well, on her left one anyway. And they figure out that where they're going next is Earth, to New Asgard. So that's when they go to Earth, to New Asgard. I don't think I'm going to spoil everything. I want a lot of this to stay, but since they only put this so much in the preview, I think we're gonna just go to it.
Well, I mean, we did do well last time when we basically ran down the whole thing.
I know, the whole movie, right? Yeah. So they come to Earth, and that's where you see the other scenes. Oh, before they do that, and they say, we got to go to Earth, we meet Jane Foster, and the Korg goes, let me tell you about Jane. And we find out, yes, she has cancer, just like in the comics. And
she's dying. It's not a good time for Jane.
Except that she's Thor now. She's written a book, and now it seems like she's trying to cure her own cancer. And she thinks of Thor and goes to she says that Mjolnir called her to New Asgard. So she goes there, and you see the pieces. It's just laying. They now have a dome over where where Mjolnir got broken and fell to the ground. Nobody can pick it up because they're not worthy. So, okay, all these bits and pieces. And you see when she goes closer to them, they kind of shake and rattle. And I believe it cuts to Thor. I'm sorry if I remember a little bit different. But anyway, we have Thor and everybody get to Earth. And the God Butcher gets there. He sticks the sword into the ground, which causes the shadow monsters to go out into the New Asgard and cause all sorts of higgledy-piggledy.
Yeah, again, he weaponizes shadows. That's the gimmick that they gave for Gore, and it's pretty cool, actually.
Okay, Skip's saying, exactly. Thor lost all of his family. His mom, his dad, his brothers are gone. He's looking for a new family, and Jane would have been wifey. Lady Sif is in it, Hominus. Not for long, but she is in it. And Rhaegar's saying, I don't care about spoilers. So, so we get this big battle. It's actually a really cool battle as Thor arrives there. They do battle with these shadow creatures. You get this great entrance from Valkyrie. Oh, by the way, all that bitching and moaning about King Valkyrie, which here's the thing. I'm suspect of anything like that these days because I know it's not narrative, it's agenda. If I really thought it was narrative to call her king instead of queen. Okay, but we have Queen, what was her name? Phrygia, the Thor's mom? Frigga, thank you. We already have queen and king established. So she would not have been king.
Yeah, there's no reason to change the title because it's not even a cultural thing.
That's one of the reasons why I hated the fact they did that. And they called her King Valkyrie because I know it's not narrative, it's agenda. But the problem is we wasted more time on it than the movie did. Seriously, that The way she was
It's
looking
literally like
bored,
3 lines and
the
then
way
never
she looked
referenced again.
bored in the pictures and the original trailer, exactly how much time you see in the trailer is exactly how much time they spend on it in the movie. It's
Yeah,
just
she's a
the
bit
show.
bored. She's looking for something to do with her life that isn't
Yeah,
freaking bureaucracy shit.
which is something that comes up later. She hates being king. She wants to be in battle. She wants to go out and do stuff. And that was why she was looking bored. Everybody made such a freaking even me, by the way, made such a big deal out of this. And it literally is nothing in the movie. Instead, what we get is Valkyrie riding in on her Pegasus or
Pegasus.
Pegasus. And it's a great entry. And so her and Thor are fighting the shadow creatures, and Thor sees a blast of lightning, says, "Is this a new god?" And Valkyrie looks and goes, "Oh, you're gonna like this new god." And that's when the hammer is flying around, but it's flying way too fast for the human eye to see it. But Thor senses that it's Mjolnir and calls to it. And that's where you see in the preview where it's like Mjolnir and it flies to Jane. Not instantly recognizable, by the way. He has some conversation with the new god who's taking his look and his hammer, and he's not happy about it until she removes the helmet, and he's like, Jane. And the thing is Jane, the Jane and Thor relationship. I like the way they handled it. Although Thor is treated a bit more like the puppy here, but I think that's also because he lost his mom, dad, country, planet, so forth and so on.
Yeah. He's not having a good day.
No.
Thor.
But that
Granted, Jane
is,
isn't really having a good day either, but that's neither here nor there.
but that battle is awesome, and I did enjoy it. I liked, in all honesty, I liked the lighting. I know that sounds weird, but I like this lighting and the cinematography in it. It was just a beautiful fight to watch.
Yeah, I've gotten really, really annoyed lately with movies that don't know how to use color, that just seem allergic to any color whatsoever. This movie does not have that problem. It's full tilt. All the colors are on display. And
Yeah, it's
it works.
vibrant.
It's very Kirby, which again, Eternals. Take notes.
I know,
You
right?
should have been copying Guardians homework, but if you're not going to copy the Guardians homework, copy Thor's homework, please.
It feels alive, and that's one thing. Like I said, I like about the Ms. Marvel show. So, okay, let me see if I've got this right. Okay, so Gore shows up for the battle, and it takes all three of them to hold him down. But Gore does realize he's not going to win this battle at this point. So he kind of retreats and has his shadow creatures steal the children of Asgard. They're gone.
Yeah.
So the next day they're also, they get together, they're doing this meeting. What are we going to do? The people of Asgard are a little ticked off. Thor steps up to try to give an inspiring speech, but he's not there yet. There's a couple of tries. At the end, he finally makes it. It's one of those things. But also one more time of let's treat Thor like an idiot, where he calls the Bifrost, and instead of going anywhere, he actually ends up crashing outside. We've never seen the Bifrost malfunction, yet they acted like it was malfunctioning.
Yeah, it's weird, especially considering that in the first Thor movie, the Bifrost was encased in like a fiber optic bridge, and then they smashed it, and it still didn't malfunction thereafter. So like I don't know.
Yeah, it was a stupid. That was one of the moments where they sacrificed good story for bad joke, and that does happen. Once again, when I left this theater, I was confused. Do I like it or not? Well, that's not true. I was entertained. I liked it, but did I like it enough to tell you guys that, you got to see this? So yeah, they decide, okay, we got an idea. Let's go, and we're going to put together a god army. and we're going to go after Gore. I know I'm skipping some scenes. Like I skipped over Matt Damon showing up with
Luke
Dr.
Hemsworth.
Grant from the Hemsworth, the other Hemsworth brother, and Dr. Grant from Jurassic Park, Sam Neill. And they're doing another play, and this time they're doing the play where they meet.
Yeah, they brought back the Asgard players bit from Ragnarok, and it's fine. And mercifully, instead of bringing back Hela and having her being played by Melissa McCarthy, which would cause me to shoot myself, they have Melissa McCarthy playing stage Hela instead.
Yeah. So the whole thing is that these players are ridiculous. So it goes to show that they would have somebody as ridiculous as Melissa McCarthy in that play. And she plays it just as bad as Matt Damon does, who, by the way, nails it every time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, although I kind of am annoyed that we're never going to get to see him in a more serious role because he's cast this bit part.
I could see him. He could be an Earthbound hero, maybe, but he's not going to play an Asgard god or anything like that. He is an Asgardian actor, and he is a ham at it. And it's so yeah, they did that again. So they decide to go, and they're going to get a god army. And what was it they called that place that they go to? You see it it's the floating city.
Omnipotent City, the next
That's it.
to the god.
Omnipotent City. Oh, and we fought, and so they go there because they want to recruit whatever god will help, and they know Zeus is there, and Thor is just geeking out. His big hero is Zeus. He goes, "Oh, I'm the thunder, and sometimes I do lightning, but Zeus is all of it." And so he geeks out about how powerful Zeus is going to be and everything.
Basically, you can imagine young, prepubescent Thor has a poster of Zeus or a statue of Zeus in his room. That's the way that it's like a you were my hero when I was a kid kind of thing, which I kind of like. That they do acknowledge that they both have electrical powers, but it's not a which god of lightning and thunder is better. No, it's that Zeus is older and that Thor fanboys over him.
And Skip's reminding me that the Bifrost issue was because Stormbreaker was actually jealous that Thor seemed to be chasing after Mjolnir, and he does.
Yeah, that's right. There's
more than a couple of times where he's talking and he's like, "You got my hammer. I want my hammer back. I want my," and he's like, "How did you get my hammer?" And they actually show it. It's a really touching reason. I don't know if this is the reason Jason Aaron wrote in the comics, but if it's not. It isn't. It was brilliant. No. That's the way it should have been.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this is one of the places where this movie gets a lot of cred with me again, because the unworthy Thor / Lady Thor storyline, while it has interesting concepts in it, as with most things that Jason Aaron does, is a very nihilistic, very crappy justification. The reason was Thor was inextricably unworthy. Jane insisted there must be a Thor, so Jane is worthy now because reasons. But in the movie,
don't tell him why. Let this one stay. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I purposely went around it. But am I wrong? Was that not so much better?
Not only was it better than whatever the frick Jason Aaron was doing, but it was better than Jane and Thor's entire relationship in either of the other two movies. Know, right?
Well, Hominus is saying, "Come on, England team, let us know." Maranya saying, "Welcome everyone to the live stream, where the topic of discussion is not always what it's advertised in the title, like most live streams on this channel." That being said, we are talking about Love and Thunder, and this is the spoiler section. Do you want to tell, or should I tell? Then
no, I'll tell it. So there's several flashbacks throughout the movie where we see Thor and Jane in between Dark World and Ragnarok living together and Thor is enjoying having a fairly normal life with Jane. He's got his girl and everything is good. So um, one night when I think Jane is sleeping, if I remember the scene correctly, um, Thor is just sitting alone, kind of thinking to himself, and he whispers to the I don't remember if he was drunk or not, but he whispers to the hammer, "Always protect Jane." And much like what happened with Odin at the beginning of the first Thor when he put the spell on Mjolnir for the worthiness thing, it functioned as a spell. So Thor's love for Jane crafts a spell on the hammer so that it will always come to her aid. Now, mind you, she's dying of stage 4 cancer. So when she goes to New Asgard looking for a way around it, the hammer remembers, oh wait, I'm supposed to protect this woman. Yoink.
This is the way it should have been in the comics, because it doesn't make Thor look bad. It doesn't make Thor look stupid or unworthy. It makes him a hero, and yet still adds Thor or adds Jane as a Thor or Thordis or Lady Thor.
Yeah, a wielder of the powers of Thor. And again, this movie has more good moments between Jane Foster and Thor than the entire first two Thors managed to.
Oh, by the way, it's being brought up that I'm sneaking spoilers in. I would like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that the name of this
is the spoiler section.
The name of this video is Thor: Love and Thunder First Thoughts, non-spoiler, then spoilers. So yeah, we did 20 minutes on the non-spoiler stuff.
Yeah, that seems to be our sweet spot. We go 20 minutes non-spoiler review and then plot breakdown better than you'd get from New Rockstars.
This
Not
was
to throw shade, but we do it better.
This was so much better an explanation as to how Jane gets the hammer than what was in the comics. One of the worst things that we've been saying, and in all honesty, they did it in the comics way too many times. You have to put down the hero for the new character. No, these new characters should be looking up to the actual Iron Man, the actual Thor, as heroes in their eyes. Why would they want to put them down?
Yeah, and more to the point, why can't they coexist with each other is the other thing.
That's why I liked Hawkeye, because Hawkeye was competent all the way through, and it was Kate Bishop who was the idiot all the way through.
Yeah, and also Kate Bishop wasn't a twit about everything like, say, Carol Danvers.
until of course it was time for Kate Bishop to step up and not be a dumbass. Stan Lee was not the creator of this exact title of LiveStream. Okay, there you go. Oh, by the way, you talk about Stan Lee was not the creator. I do like the fact that they credited Stan Lee's brother for creating Thor. If you watch the credits, yes, I actually read the credits. When it goes by, it says created by Stan Lee, Stan Lieber, or no, what was his name? Lieber. They used Lieber, and then Jack Kirby. They because his brother actually helped him out with some of the plots of some of the Marvel books. Yeah. These are legit good ideas. You guys should collaborate on your own comic and not let Disney and Marvel steal concepts. Well, they did that one this time. We're talking about what they did. But actually, you know what? I've heard that from the few, if I wrote, that we should just do a comic book based on those.
And to be fair, I guess this is the first time I'm talking about this, but me and my friend Brainstormer, the Brainstormer of Pop Culture, who I do my regular weekly podcast with, we are planning on writing a series of comics. So if you're interested in my take on a comic book universe, there are a couple in the offing here. We have several ideas. One of them is kind of a parody of the Marvel Universe, which we call the Lionhearted, but that's nothing.
Don't get me off track. You know my memory. I'm gonna forget. Where are we? They go to Omnipotent Land to meet Zeus. Ultimately, there is one stop though to a land of that was dumb. That was dumb because we meet the god Bao. He is the god of dumplings. And you see a little cartoon bow bun. Hello, Thor. I'm like, really?
I mean,
Really?
there's gods of everything, so why not? I guess, but
yeah, it was. I was like, no, 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 no,
I I
no,
I
no,
I didn't buy
no.
it because I knew it was a one-off joke,
Yeah, and
and
it really was.
honestly,
They showed him twice in the entire movie, so
yeah,
it didn't
and
really bother me.
honestly, I'm just glad we're getting pantheons that aren't the Norse now,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, and it's it
Um,
and the best god in the entire movie we'll get into in a little bit because I squeaked so hard, so I anyway,
okay,
we'll get into it when we get to it.
so they make their way. They find out that they got rid of the gods of color or something like that. Or the color, I don't remember. It was the gods of color, and each color represents an emotion, and they steal their wardrobe to hide among the gods because Valkyrie and Jane Foster have an idea that they're just going to bum rush and take Hercules's or not Hercules, but Zeus's thunderbolt. And Thor's like, no, let's talk to him. This is Hercules. And of course, Hercules arrives, and we all know it's Russell Crowe. They treat it like a mystery in the movie. So I'm thinking maybe that should have been one more thing they left out of it. Don't show us this part. Don't even tell us Russell Crowe's in it. Just have him show up, and he is Zeus. And you could tell this man's having a blast.
and they make Zeus sleazy, which I've seen some people take exception to, but not to be frank here, but speaking as the polytheistic occultist, have you read Greek mythology?
Mm-hmm. Didn't he sleep with everything? Yeah.
Literally shapeshifted into a swan to screw a swan once. So we're
yeah, he actually talks about I wanted everybody to meet so we could talk about when to have the orgy. And Thor's like, oh yeah, this is a good meeting then. So yeah, he's so they play it up, and this is really a comic moment. And I'm telling you, Russell Crowe is freaking awesome in this because you have never seen this Russell Crowe before. You have never seen him before.
He's having so much fun, and it's awesome. And
he's got, you know how the Greek gods have those little short skirts. He plays around with that shit so much. Of course, he also, you could tell, like me, he now has a love for the nachos and foods and such. So yeah,
he's been gorging at the buffet a few too many times there.
Yeah.
The grapes and the wine must have, honestly, he's probably been hanging around with Dionysus too much. Lol.
But so Thor, they're chatting, and Hercules is like, who's talking? Who's talking? You're not gonna get invited to the orgy. And he says, come on to the stage. He says, you want me to go? Yes, you know this area. It looks like a stage. You need to come here to talk. And so he brings him down, and that's when you see the what is your disguise flick. And so you saw that part. And so Thor lays out the whole thing. Hey, look, there's Gore. He's going around. He's killing, and they've stolen the children of Asgard. And will you help us? And Hercules says, no. And Zeus. I love the reason. Zeus. I keep saying Hercules. He doesn't show up in the movie
yet.
No, but he actually says, he says, look, we're all gods to someone, and we all have to take care of our own people. You're an Asgardian god. You're the one who takes care of the Asgardians, for better or for worse. And so he refuses, and that's when they all decide to fight Hercules. And that's when God dang it, I'm not going to get it right for some reason, because I'm not meaning to do it. And
we're not at that part of the movie yet. Gosh darn it!
Yeah, that's when Zeus kills Korg. I was like, holy shiitakes, what the hell are you doing to Korg? Or at least that's what they lead you to believe, because come on, that's Marvel Universe. Nobody dies.
Yeah, but no, it's a god of Korg's race.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Korg gets actually kind of upset about it because, oh, that's my god. That was my god.
Look, there's my god. No. Zeus is the one that kills him. The Hey Nani, whatever his name was, the Hey Nani Nani. He was in the stands watching all this. Yeah. But so they managed to defeat her, not Hercules, Zeus,
Zeus.
and they steal his lightning bolt. One of the that's one of the scenes with the goats, because they call the boat, they have them attached to the boat like in the preview, and they call it down, and you hear these goats because they're going in. I was like, oh my gosh,
they're doing the screaming goat meme from like 2008 or something.
yeah. So they fly away. They've got the lightning bolt, and they've got Stormbreaker that's activating the Bifrost that's letting them travel from one place to the other. Now, one thing before they defeat Zeus, god dang it, before they defeat Zeus, Zeus says, "Well, he'll never make it to eternity," and I'm like, what? Yeah, because they mentioned him in the beginning. I'm like, are we really going to see eternity? Are we really? Because more than Mephisto, I've been waiting for this mother just to watch Eternity's bitch smack Doctor Strange around and finally prove to Dalton that I'm right. We're not going to get into it. I just said that as a joke. We once did a live stream where we argued for 30 minutes about
software for the universe.
Yeah, who would win, Doctor Strange?
We've had the who wins between Doctor Strange and Eternity for like 3 hours once, and
yeah.
My argument is still the purpose of the Sorcerers is basically to be the antivirus software for the universe, and Eternity is the universe. He needs to be able to at least be able to hack into Eternity in order to maintain
being the universe, and Doctor Strange being a part of that universe cannot.
Yeah, but again, the point that you keep missing is the purpose of the Sorcerers is to be the antivirus software for the universe.
Yeah,
so he has to be able to.
Yeah, he basically. Doctor Strange is those little fish that stick to sharks so it could clean up the bullshit. Okay, that's all Doctor Strange is to Eternity. Point being, is Gore is trying to reach Eternity, and now they've got the lightning of Zeus, and they're going to go stop them. And that's when they get to Gore's moon planet of some sorts. It's I never caught that, what that was supposed to be. I know they explained it, but I wasn't really paying attention at that point.
Yeah, the Shadow Realm, I think.
Shadow Realm, thank you. Yeah. And so they get to the Shadow Realm. They see the cage that was supposedly holding the kids. And let me tell you, Thor does the dream walking thing that, what's his name? Heimdall showed him. And he talks to the kids a couple of times. One time after he talks to them, and this cage is in the shadows. It's really
astral projection, not dream walking, but
okay, astral projection. There you go. After Thor leaves, the God Butcher shows up, and I'm telling you, that is the moment. That is, I am telling you, it is the scariest thing it's been in any Marvel movie, including the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, as 100% badass as Wanda is.
And I am telling you, it's all based on freaking Christian Bale's performance. The way he looked, the way he smiled, the way he said his words, everything made this guy scary and creepy. And there is no way on earth anyone's going to defeat him in that moment.
Yeah, right? you will believe that your gods will die. Is the tagline here.
Seeing Eternity, they haven't even showed the Living Tribunal. Hey, look, I want to see them all myself. I'm a comic book geek to the point where just show me.
Yeah.
I hope you write a good story with them, but just show me. I want to see them live. You know that.
No, I'm a bit pickier than that, but I've been saying for years I want my freaking cosmic entities, and when we get. And when we get to eternity, I was like, finally,
Because I
so
remember
good, yes.
they show his like outline a couple of times, but this time we're hearing, okay, they're literally going to visit this guy. So the three of
Yeah,
them show up.
like he was on the wall mural in Guardians, and he was referenced again in Guardians 2 when Ego was training Star-Lord and how to use his celestial powers, and Star-Lord was like, I
Oh,
can see eternity, and there were stars in his eyes and whatnot. But no, we
one
get
thing
eternity this time, finally.
one thing that has to be brought up is when the goat ship is flying away from Omnipotent Land, there's two celestials standing on either side of the windows. I thought that was kind of weird. So they arrive on the Gore the Butcher's planet, and basically he does the thing, brings the monsters, and this is a big battle as well. This time, Jane goes to fight the monsters, and Thor is fighting Gore. But before they do that, they find a hut and they're going through, and Jane sees a picture about what needs to be done to reach eternity, and Stormbreaker is essential. So she goes and she says it's a trap. She runs up to Thor, grabs the hammer. She throws the hammer out into space. And that's when she explains it. Gore shows up, wraps him up in tentacles and so forth, and threatens to kill Jane, and says, call the hammer. And it gets to a point where obviously he calls the hammer, and they have this big old fight to the point where Thor, I forget what. Okay, so he grabs grabs the Stormbreaker, and he says, "Okay, guys, come on!" And he calls the Bifrost to get the kids and everybody, because at this point, also, Gore skewers Valkyrie in this fight, and he just says, "Okay, we got to get them out of here. Get the kids out. Get them." Unfortunately, kids don't go, and they get Valkyrie out of there. I'm just misremembering a little bit there, but I think I'm back on track. The kids are staying. They get Valkyrie and Jane Foster into New Asgard. Mm-hmm. But Gore now has Stormbreaker, and he's able to go towards eternity. I've got it right?
Yeah.
All right. So at this point,
before we get into the big showdown, though, I do have to say one thing, and the love triangle between Thor and his hammers is funny and all, but I did have to keep doing a double take every time he pines for Mjolnir, because I'm like, okay, but Eitri confirmed in Infinity War that Stormbreaker is better in every sense of the word than Mjolnir, and I'm like, why? Like, dude, you traded up. Not to be too crass about it, but your current weapon is a king's weapon, whereas Mjolnir was deliberately created, according to Odin and Ragnarok, to be your training wheels. Can you stop crapping all over Stormbreaker, please?
Let's see. Don Heck, the artist of said story, said decades later Kirby plotted it. Where there's smoke. Oh, Stan Lee didn't create that. He's not a Stan Lee fan, obviously.
Well, no, it is established that Stan Lee likes to take credit for things. It's like how Doctor Strange was more Steve Ditko's baby, but Stan Lee somehow still gets the fucking credit.
Yeah. It would be better if he would have just flat out said, "No, not me, Stan."
Yeah, he's the Thomas Edison of comics.
All right, so they have a really good a good moment between Thor and Jane in this, and once again, not once does Jane Foster overshadow Thor. I'm waiting for the bait and switch things coming out. I'm waiting for that bullshit to show up. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's the MCU.
Oh, it's already begun. I'm willing to put money on the fact that when Nerdrotic makes his video, he'll say that, and so probably will the Critical Drinker. To their credit, I watched a little bit of Comics Division stream
Yeah.
earlier tonight, and he was being fairly positive with it. So I'm hoping that we'll finally get it through their heads that just because diverse casting is involved doesn't mean that it's SJW. Because I'm willing to call out SJWism when I see SJWism.
Of course. I've been doing it for
don't get it
6 years.
twisted.
But I'm going to call it when it's real.
Much
I'm
as
not
with
gonna make
any
shit up.
but much as with any crime, you actually have to be caught. You actually have to be demonstrated to have committed it before I'll throw the book at you. Like Multiverse of Madness wasn't
let me put something to
SJW.
bed here. Let me put something to bed
Yeah.
here. When Stan Lee, or when anybody says Stan Lee created the Norse pantheon or the Greek pantheon, we're saying he created the Norse pantheon and the Greek pantheon of Marvel Comics.
Of the Marvel universe, not
that's it.
The actual one.
To even think that maybe somebody was not saying that, come on, Stan. You're better than that. You're better than that, man.
Yeah, but no, seriously. The various pantheons, the various cultures have existed for millennia, and that's not even counting the fact that they might actually exist and so on.
But still, once again, I gotta say, I loved the relationship between Thor and Jane in this one. I even liked the fact that Thor was more puppy doggish because he's desperate at this point. I think that's been missed because I hear a lot of people talk about the dad bod, about his depression, the whole 9 yards. I like the fact that they're doing some of this stuff, not all of this stuff, but I like they're doing some of this stuff because these are humanized characters. When you get in comics, it's all noble Shakespearean stuff.
Yeah, grandiose, yada, yada, yada.
I am A-okay with them actually feeling some effects of the stuff that they've been through.
Now, granted, the humanization has gone too far in places.
Sometimes, yeah.
I want Doctor Strange, for example, to start speaking in purple prose like he's freaking supposed to, please.
I would like Loki to be stoic and not emotional. I want him to be an evil son of a bitch planner. Which the more I watch the Loki show, or the more I think about the Loki show, I don't like it. So Thor says, "Hey, look, I'm gonna go face the God Butcher by myself." Jane, when she arrived, they found out that actually the hammer is keeping chemo and all that kind of stuff working for her. So she promises not to go fight. And Thor's going to go with Zeus's lightning bolt, and he's going to face Gore, the God Butcher. So he arrives right in front of the gate of eternity. And you see Gore the God Butcher setting up Stormbreaker to open the Bifrost to eternity. And he's got the kids are all trapped, and it's like this big long royal hallway, kind of like, and the kids are on one end, and Thor kind of pops down, and in front of these guys, Gore sees it, and he puts the sword in the ground, sends all the shadow monsters, and that's when we realized Thor understood what happened with a hammer and realized he has his father's ability to give people his abilities. So he says into the lightning, he tells all the kids to pick up a weapon, and he says into the lightning, he says, for those who wish to go home and are worthy to wield these weapons, let them wield the power of Thor. I'm once again paraphrasing.
Yeah, and then he outsources his powers to these kids.
To all of the kids. And he said, and of course he gives the big, look, I know you're kids, you don't have battle experience, but now's the time, guys. You got to start somewhere. Let's go. And so you got about 50 kids or 60 kids fighting these shadow monsters while he is fighting Gore. Of course, Gore is about to kill him, and that's when, of course, Mjolnir hits, and we find Jane Foster decided to risk her life to help Thor fight.
Yeah, and yes, Ed Brewer, it is kind of like with the Shazam family from the first Shazam movie. Yes.
There you go. And so they go through this big fight. and they end up. Oh goodness, I forget the details of it, but I don't really want to go. And then he hit her, and he hit her. He hit her. They go through this big fight, and Gore makes it through the gate. So Thor chases him down. He goes through the gate as well, and there is eternity. And he's sitting like freaking Buddha, and I'm like,
Finally.
I don't know. I was. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. No, I wanted eternity. Not.
Yeah. No, it's a bit underwhelming because he's not as big as he should be. I was expecting something more along the lines of Dormammu from the first Doctor Strange, but the entire freaking universe. Because
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. And instead of eternity, there's eternity. It's Praprutha.
But I mean, he's there, so I will take it. Like,
yeah, it's like
I need my cosmic entities.
It's like Thai Buddha eternity in this one, because he's just kind of sitting there. The whole thing is, if you make it to eternity, the first person makes it to it's like a great race, gets a wish. And so Thor talks him in. He say, "Look, you don't want vengeance. You don't want to kill the gods. You don't want this." And he says, "Oh, right. What do I want then?" And he says, "Love." And he talks him into the fact that what he's missing is his daughter. He doesn't want to kill all the gods. He wants his daughter back. He wants,
Which, to be fair, is perfectly fair, given that the reason why he decided to hate all the gods is because his daughter died. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And once again, I was expecting eternity. We got eternity, and it still looks cool because you're looking into the universe. You're not looking at a guy. You're basically looking into an eternity-shaped universe, which is how he should always look.
Yeah,
so because the only thing that was wrong there was really my expectations.
The scale, basically. Yeah.
And the thing is this is what I wanted from Wonder Woman, to tell you the truth. What we see here. See, there's themes going all the way through this Thor movie. Theme of love, acceptance, so forth and so on. Self-respect, finding your way back.
What does it mean to be a god? How should you use power?
And this is kind of like the ending of Wonder Woman, or the journey of Wonder Woman was not a physical one. So when you get to
it wasn't just to deck Ares, it was to
when you get to the movie, when you get to the end, it should have been a more, even if you did have an action scene, it should have been a more philosophical ending. Now we got our big action scene with Thor. Now's the time to kind of wrap up all the themes and all the ideas that you have in there, and they do this. The climactic final battle is of words. They already stabbed each other and hit each other and knocked each other around.
because they can't beat Gore. What they need to do is convince him not to destroy all the gods, but to choose a more constructive choice, which is bring my daughter back.
Gore says, "Hey, look, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. So she'll be alone." And Jane looks and says, "She won't be alone." And he looks at her and he realizes that she's telling the truth, that if he brings her back, she will find a place of love. And
among the new Asgardians,
right,
and specifically Thor.
So what we see, of course, the way he's convinced is he's looking over at Thor, and he is in the same physical position that Gore was with his daughter at the beginning in the movie. And he decides to bring his daughter forth, and they decide, okay, we're going to take care of her. And it cuts to New Asgard. You see this big statue. And once again, man, I've been spoiling a lot, but this is a big old spoiler right here. Okay. We lost most of our audience when they realized we're spoiling the hell out of this movie. But,
here there be spoilers, and also for the last 45 minutes. So
here there be a big spoiler. Jane's dead, yo.
Yeah. Which, again, for those who were saying, "Oh, she's gonna marry Sue him. Oh, she's gonna upstage him." Da, 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 da. No, she dies. She
She's
dies
dead.
at
Now,
the end of the movie.
look, here's the thing. This is the Marvel universe, and nobody stayed dead. Loki's died 4 times. You know, nobody.
No,
But
but
fingers crossed they keep it permanent because
I
the,
mean,
the
it's
statue,
not like she gets a easy out. She goes to Valhalla with Heimdall, who
Oh, you're
you know.
spoiling. That's next. That's the ending. We're gonna get to the forget about that. We're not there yet, guys. All right, but yeah, seriously, Jane. They have the statue. Jane's dead, and we find everybody's doing well and so forth, and then we find out what's going on with Gore's daughter and Thor, and he's basically dadding it up. He's fixing her pancakes. She's like, I don't like these. He's like, eat them. And says, you got your boots on? Well, you're going to be late. You need to get your, we're going to be late. You need to get your boots. And she's got little bunny slippers and such. And he's like, you're not wearing that. And he's basically dealing with, at this point, a 10-year-old girl who's being a brat and all that kind of stuff.
Thor has an adoptive daughter.
Yeah. And so he says, okay, we got to go. Is this your armor? Okay, fine, let's go. And he opens up. He says, now, you see these aliens? They're the good. We have to protect them. You understand? She goes, protect the good aliens. Yes. So they run out, and Korg's telling the story. And he says, she's no longer daughter of Gore, the God Butcher. Instead, she's now part of a duo, Love and Thunder. And then, of course, you see him jumping, and movie ends.
Yeah, Thor has an adopted daughter. It's very cute.
And that's when we get the 2 credit cookies. And the first one is Hercules talking about how nobody respects the gods anymore. Did I say Hercules? Zeus.
You did.
And he says,
it's going to get very confusing here in a second.
Yeah, I know, because he says nobody respects the gods anymore. They just look up in the sky and wish for one of their superheroes. And but we're going.
They will fear us again when Thor Odin's son falls from the sky. Do you understand, my son? Do you understand, Hercules?
And then we see Hercules, and I'm thinking, yes.
He's a bit small yet, but he has time to hit the gym in between movies. So
and then the last credit cookie, as Dalton has been saying, she's dead, yo. She's in Valhalla. You see Jane Foster, because she was killed in battle in freaking Valhalla, and they embrace her there. So
also, we should have mentioned this earlier. When she dies in the movie, it's not like she dies and then there's a corpse there. She dies and evaporates into like firefly sparks, kind of like Odin did in Ragnarok. So yeah, this is the end for Jane, and it's fine. And this is definitely not MCU, because name an MCU project where the female character never upstages the male hero, and then dies at the end.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, Rhaegar, we've done this before. What movie? What did we do? Doctor Strange, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed to work, where we do a short spoiler-free review, and then we just go
Which
through
was also about 20 minutes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Who is the actor? I don't remember his name. It wasn't a big name.
Roy West, something or other, I think. Roy. I know his name because he was in something else, but I can't remember what it is.
Goldstein.
No.
That's who it is. His name is Brett Goldstein, and yeah, I'm like, who? Goldstein takes on the role of Hercules. I'm okay. Let me see if I can't find, because I don't know this guy. He might be in a TV show. I think somebody's mentioning Ted Lasso here, so maybe he's in that show. But I looked and I went, I don't know who this guy is. Who's this dude, Brett? Okay. Let me see. IMDb. Where's the freaking, come on, dude. It used to be if you typed in an actor's name, that was the first thing that popped up. Okay, and let's see, what else has he been in? Ted Laszlo, the missing Christmas mustache. Yeah, so he's in that show. Drunk History. It looks like a whole bunch of TV shows. I guess English shows too, because
But yeah, this is his big cinematic break. He's never played a major cinematic role before, I don't think.
All righty, but there you go. And that's it. And look, once again, I've got to admit, my first thought was, do I like this? Do I like this movie enough? I didn't know coming out of this. While I'm talking about it, though, I'm having fun. I'm having fun going through this. So maybe I'll watch it again and enjoy it a little bit more a second time. I don't know. We'll see. Well, the movie is talking to its audience. Wait, I thought all the spoilers were fake so that England team could keep us guessing. No, I'm not that clever.
No.
I mean, I don't get the whole point of listening to a review and not expecting spoilers. There's usually nothing of substance said from most non-spoiler reviews.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I feel about spoilers in general. It's like, if I know what's going to happen, then I can focus more on how it happens and the technical proficiency of when it happens. Whereas, like, I'm the same way with all spoilers. I'm like, tell me what happens so that I can then focus on how what happens is executed and what it means and how
I'm more of I like to go into these things with as little knowledge as possible, even if they're we're gonna make the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, but you're not really. So I want to keep it low so I can see everything when it gets there. I don't like a lot of spoilers, but I get it, and it's something to talk about. Because when we get to talking, I know that I'm the first to break that freaking rule, even though I don't like.
So yeah, Zeus and Hercules, it seems, are going to be the villains for Thor 5 if there's a Thor 5 to be had. So that's the big upshot here.
Can we get to it quickly? I'm getting old. I want these movies a little bit quicker.
That's why I'm pointing at my watch with regards to the cosmic entities. I want to get to the stuff I came for before I die, please.
You're 30 years freaking younger than me. When you were
born, with a disability that's probably going to shave 10 to 15 years off my life.
Play that card. All right.
Okay, but I have less time than most people, so I'm
52 with chronic diabetes, mother. I'm just kidding. I don't really have it that bad. At least that's what I'm ignoring what my doctor said anyway. No, it's yeah, when you were born, we finally got a good Batman movie. Like
6 years before I was born, because it was 89. But
I love 66, but I'm talking about the 89. It took me a while to learn to love the.
Although those were the Tim Burton Batman movies were the first two comic book movies I ever remember watching, and I watched them a lot as a kid because I had the VHSs, and I punished the hell out of those VHS. It was one of those like, I'm gonna watch the Batman movies today, and I would watch one, and then I would watch the other, and then I would watch one again, and then I would watch the other again.
England team will die of low auction sales before he dies of diabetes. Rhaegar saying the authenticator gets where I'm at. After Infinity War was spoiled for me, I stopped caring about spoilers. I'm not staying off the internet because my surprise is ruined. I am very much like that. So I get it. I don't know a lot of people who are like me, where I'll put myself in a freaking isolation tank. I do not like to go online when something comes out that I enjoy. Like for when the new season of Stranger Things came on, I was like,
I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, tell me what happens so that I don't have to be caught off guard by shit, and then let me examine how it's done. What you can. It's kind of like how books come with the blurb on the back that explains what the premise of the book is.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, especially in marketing, people are like, oh, you don't want to show things in the trailer. And I'm like, the purpose of a trailer or an advertisement is to get me in the seat by showing me what they have to offer. If you don't show me what you have to offer, then I have no incentive to freaking care.
Well, that to me is the preview, and really just one, because let's face it, I'm a comic book geek. with a comic book channel. So I'm going to be talking about the comic book movies. All you really need to do is tell me Shazam 2, December 31st. And I'm there. You don't have to say anything else. I don't care. Tell me the name of the movie and where it's at. I'm going to show up because it is that.
Yeah, and since we referenced Avatar 2 a little earlier, can I just sidetrack things and say something very petty? I want Avatar 2 to be successful, but I don't want it to be first Avatar movie successful. I want it to make enough to justify a sequel, but here's the upshot. I want it to make less than Shazam 2 or Black Adam. Because James Cameron is such an a-hole. And don't get me wrong, he has the goods. He has the skills to pay the bills, so he deserves to be an a-hole sometimes, and that's fine and all. But he has said so many disparaging things about superhero genre over and above what most people in Hollywood say about the superhero genre, because let's be honest, the old guard still hasn't got the memo that comic book movies are good art like every other kind of freaking art, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah. I want James Cameron to lose to a superhero movie or two when Avatar 2 comes out. Not to mention the fact...
If you're talking about Black Adam, I want that movie to do gangbusters. I really do. I want Shazam to do a lot of money because they the other one over by putting it between Captain Marvel
and Captain Marvel and Endgame, yeah.
That was stupid. The perfect place for Captain Marvel would or Shazam, excuse me, the real Captain Marvel would have been the middle of August, like right before summer ended.
Or a Christmas release because the tone.
Well, yeah, it was in fact a Christmas movie with the decorations and such in it. It could have worked then, but I'm telling you, it would have had zero competition at the end of summer. Zero competition. Boom.
Yeah.
But anyway, kids,
if it had come out around the same time or around the same place as the first Guardians did, yeah, it would have done probably around the same numbers as the first Guardians.
Because everybody I know that
I
liked it or loved it because it's just a
I want Shazam 2 to do gangbusters. Heck, I want both Shazam 2 and Black Adam to make as much as the first Aquaman did. Because nice. I want DC to hurry the frick up and give me what I come for. And more to the point,
I have an unpopular opinion here.
Yeah.
I want DC to release the Ezra Miller Flash movie. I can't wait to see that train wreck. I really did. Not the train wreck of the movie, because I've seen Ezra Miller.
The train wreck of Ezra Miller.
Are you going to promote the Flash? Are you going to put Ezra Miller out there? Because I really want to see that. I want to see the Ezra Miller press conference for the Flash almost as much as I want to see the Flash movie.
Like you thought Amber Heard and that whole fiasco was bad for DC's rep. You, my ladies and gentlemen, need to look into one Ezra Miller, because if Amber Heard is every negative feminist stereotype come to life, Ezra Miller is every male feminist stereotype come to life. Right down the line.
Okay, let me get some comments and then we're going to close out here. Let's see. Rhaegar is an established conservative, so he's against tipping. Wait, no. I'm a conservative. I tip well, sir. I think conservatives tip very well. I think it's the Dems that are the stingy ones, right? I don't know.
Well,
okay, so anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're talking superhero movies. Brimstone was given spoilers on his Twitter, and they got taken down, and he's apparently a famous pro wrestler. I prefer the discussion with the oh, thank you. I have no idea who Brimstone is. The Real Place says Maranya for Captain Marvel Brie Larson movie was well after Black Widow got her solo movie first. I'm still salty.
Well, yes, but we were talking about the big red cheese of Fawcett Comics, Captain Marvel, not the shrewish harpy of feminist propaganda, Captain Marvel.
Yeah. And I'm expecting the bullshit MCU stuff too to bridge. It's gonna come out. It's so far fucking off on this one. It's getting sad that I know what is it? What's coming up next? We've got Black Adam in October. We've got all these movies that are going to come out. Black Panther
2 is December.
Black Panther 2. I know exactly what their review is going to be.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. I know exactly. What's the new TV show out? Doesn't matter. I know what their review is going to be.
They're going to crap on it.
It's going to be the same as the last one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The problem is, back in the day when we first got this going, when we first were, the artists formerly known as Comicsgate, we used to oppose social justice ideology, not diversity, not inclusion, not minority characters, not anything like that. And that was always the straw man that got thrown at us whenever we would criticize the way they would address a character or the way they would turn them into ideological and moral mouthpieces. They would call us, "Oh, you're just mad because gay. Oh, you're just mad because minority, yada yada,the." Even though some of us were those things. But now a lot of the former like geek culture anti-SJW channels have become the straw man. Like Gary from Neurotic, before he hit it big, he first showed up on Eglintine's channel, and I love the guy to death, I do. But while I'm shilling for myself, Brainstormer and I did an entire 2 live streams on our channel that we shared, the podcast of the Storm, ripping apart Gary's review of Doctor Strange 2 because it was such bullshit.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah, it was okay. So,
well, hold on. No. Well, so go watch his video. I'm trying to get through comments so we can get out.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
And plus,
you can watch that over on the podcast.
Hold on. And also, by the way, and this is something else I want you to pay attention to. I'm talking about the video, not anything personal. Okay, that's also something I want to put out there. Let's see. I think most people are watching The Flash for Michael Keaton. Yeah, but I just want to see the train wreck. Ezra Miller is fucking out there, man. I think it would be funny.
Yeah, Tutti Frutti freaking Fruit Loop. And I'm not just saying that because gay.
Thought the actor from the Flash TV series. I don't think they would have him replace him. And would he want to? Because he's been playing the Flash for 12 years now, right?
I kind of hope they do, because I'd like to see the shows and the multiverse. And they already kind of set up the multiverse of the shows and the movies connecting, because in Crisis on Infinite Earths, there Ezra Miller was in one scene as a version of the Flash. So the bedrock is. The build-up is already there.
Frog is saying Grant Gustin is a better Flash. Stan Lee was not the creator, saying, but remember, Eglantine raised me as sort of a Obi-Wan-like mentor, so I always get him a Father's Day gift. I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, next child I raise, I'm freaking bottle feeding. That's just rough. Let's see. Rhaegar says, what specifically was, go to his video and check that out, okay? Yeah. Edwin
I was about to give you an example just to show, but we'll do that later.
Ed Boyette did a video on I mean, look, I get it. Like, I understand, because like I said, I could tell you what their next reviews are going to be, but I didn't know that people were breaking down their videos and all that kind of stuff about it. Let's see. He might want for money into a big check, just theory, but you could be right. I know you're not talking. Oh, for Grant Gust. Yeah, okay. I don't know his last name. I had to unsubscribe from Ed Boyer. I think he has a lot of unfair takes on things in general. And I haven't even seen I heard he was reading books, but I haven't seen a video from him in a long time. It's something, a lot of that OG CG stuff, people just kind of went into the ether. They're like Unranked Chevron, man, was here all the freaking time. And there you go.
He is no more, apparently.
Yeah, it's just done. Yeah. Robert Wool was the reporter from Batman 89. Let's see. The Flash looked like a real superhero in the 90s series. Bring that look back, says Ed Brewer. I like that one. I like that. That was good. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Okay, no, no all caps. There you go. But there you go, kids. That's our take on Love and Thunder. I got to admit, I like talking about it, and that kind of elevated the movie to me. And maybe that's because I remember a lot of the good stuff over the bad stuff. Would I recommend this? Look, you're comic book geeks. Go see it.
Yeah,
you might actually have fun with this. This is avoiding a lot of the tropes that that a lot of movies have hit. Once again, there's none of this MCU stuff.
Yeah. See Love and Thunder, so maybe Chloe Zhao will get it into her head that we want the Kirbyism, please.
Yeah,
for Eternal 2 or whatever. Yeah,
this is one. Go kick back, relax, and just check it out.
You'll have fun. Go in expecting a trippy 80s style romantic comedy along the lines of Xanadu or Kate and Leopold.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely it's very campy. It's very campy. So understand that when you're going in, don't expect a serious Thor movie.
Yeah. Do you like What We Do in the Shadows? Do you like the Jojo Rabbit? Do you like Ragnarok? You'll probably like this.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, and I've seen a lot of people say they don't like it as much as Ragnarok. I agree, it's not as good as Ragnarok.
I think it's better.
But it does have a lot of but it does have more of the good parts of Ragnarok, and that's good for me.
Well, Ed's saying it sounds like a big old meh to him. Sorry, I couldn't make it sound exciting for you, but the thing is also Ethereal saying wait for it on Disney Plus. The good thing is if you want to see it, but you don't want to go out to the theater and spend the my theater's a mom.
Wait a month and a half or so, and it'll be on Disney Plus.
3 months. That's how long it takes. That's the thing. So, but here's the thing. Also, to put into perspective, because I know some of you live in big cities and such. We do have an AMC around the corner from us, but I always go to this mom and pop's shop. I spend $9 on a ticket, which is, I understand, the daytime price for a lot of you guys. So keep that. Like, I know I go by price too sometimes. And if I had to spend $15 to $17 for an adult ticket for some of the movies I'm seeing, maybe that would affect the.
And another little tidbit about Disney Plus. I watched Doctor Strange 2 at home for the first time on the 4th of July for whatever reason. And I found myself actually looking forward to rewatching it, and I'll probably rewatch it again several more times, which is not something I can say about the first Doctor Strange. Multiverse of Madness was so much better than the first Doctor Strange. Hopefully they continue to move in that direction. But that's
So there you go. Okay, let's see. 1 and 2 is levels of horrible. 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 is levels of bad. 5 and 6 levels of average. 7 and 8 levels of good. 9 and 10 levels of excellence. Where does Thor sit for you?
I'll give it an 8.
An 8? Yeah, I'm actually thinking 7 on this one. It was good. It was an average. I think that's the lowest grade, though, that I could go with while still recommending it. So I guess that's what I'm doing. So it is a very cautious recommendation for me, a little bit stronger recommendation from Dalton. Thank you very much, kids, for hanging out with us while we just went through damn near the entire plot of Thor. Love and Thunder. A lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow we're doing a reading at 10 o'clock Eastern time of some sort of patriotic character. So join us for that for our Bad Comic Beatdown Live. And as always, kids, thank you very, very much for watching. If you don't mind helping out the channel, Moran, you just put the Ko-Fi into the just chat there. So thank you very much for hanging out, and thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night.
Cheers, guys.